Alright, close your eyes for a second. Well, not literally, since you're reading, but imagine this. You're aware that you're sitting. You know you're breathing. You can feel your heartbeat. You can think about thinking. Now pause. How? What exactly is happening when you know you're you? That experience, the awareness of existence, the stream of thoughts, the internal voice narrating your life, that's what we call consciousness. But here's the twist. Despite all our technological advances, brain scans, and philosophical debates, we still don't truly understand what consciousness is. Is it just neurons firing? Is it a soul? Is it a byproduct of evolution, or something far deeper? Today, we're diving into one of the biggest mysteries science and philosophy have ever faced. What is consciousness, really? What do we mean by consciousness? Let's start with the basics. Consciousness is usually defined as the state of being aware of and able to think about yourself and your environment. That includes self-awareness, the ability to experience sensations, like pain or pleasure, awareness of time, space, and memory, intentional thought and decision-making. But here's the problem, that definition is vague. Because consciousness isn't one thing. It's a cluster of experiences, sensory input, memory, emotion, identity, all wrapped up in something we instinctively know, but can't fully explain. So philosophers and scientists have proposed different models. But so far, no one agrees. The hard problem of consciousness. In the 1990s, philosopher David Chalmers coined a term that shook the field. The hard problem of consciousness. It's not hard because we don't understand the brain, we do, to an extent. We know what brain areas control speech, movement, memory. We can map activity. We can even predict behavior based on brain scans. But the hard problem is this. Why do we experience any of it? Why does red look red? Why does chocolate taste sweet? Why do we feel joy, sadness, awe, or fear? You can measure brain waves, but you can't measure what it's like to be someone. That subjective, first-person experience is what Chalmers called qualia. And science doesn't have tools to explain it yet. Is consciousness just neurons? One camp of thinkers believes consciousness is an emergent property of the brain. Meaning, once you put enough neurons together in the right way, consciousness emerges from the complexity. It's like how water emerges from hydrogen and oxygen. The individual parts aren't wet, but the combination creates something new. This is supported by neuroscientific studies. We've seen how damaging certain brain areas changes personality, memory, even decision-making. Drugs, trauma, and sleep all affect consciousness. That's strong evidence it's tied to brain function. But the challenge is, even with the most advanced tech, we haven't found the exact neural signature of consciousness. We know what areas correlate with it, but not what causes it. Philosophy, dualism versus materialism. For centuries, philosophers have debated whether the mind and body are the same thing. René Descartes famously said, "I think, therefore I am." He believed in dualism, that the mind and the body are separate. The brain is physical, the mind is not. In contrast, materialists argue that everything, including consciousness, arises from physical processes. In this view, there's no mind separate from the brain, just biology doing its thing. Both views have problems. If dualism is true, how does an immaterial mind interact with a physical body? And if materialism is right, why does self-awareness exist at all? Why aren't we just biological robots? Panpsychism, is everything conscious? Now here's a wild idea. What if everything has some level of consciousness? That's the theory of panpsychism. It proposes that consciousness is a fundamental feature of the universe, like gravity or space-time. Under this model, even particles have tiny proto-consciousness. And complex consciousness, like ours, is just an advanced form of what's always been there. This doesn't mean your coffee mug is plotting world domination, but it might suggest that awareness is woven into the fabric of reality itself. While this sounds out there, some modern physicists and philosophers take it seriously, especially as neuroscience fails to fully explain consciousness from the ground up. Can machines be conscious? As AI gets more advanced, the question becomes urgent. Can we build a conscious machine? Some believe it's inevitable. If consciousness arises from complexity, then once an AI becomes sophisticated enough, it may become self-aware. Others argue that machines can simulate human behavior without experiencing anything. That is, a chatbot can talk about pain, but it doesn't feel pain. We don't yet know how to test machine consciousness. We can test behavior, but remember, behavior isn't experience. So for now, even the smartest AI remains in the uncanny valley, acting conscious, but not being conscious. Scientific theories of consciousness. Let's touch on two of the leading scientific theories. Global Workspace Theory, GWT, proposed by Bernard Baars, compares consciousness to a spotlight in a theater. Your brain processes a ton of data unconsciously, but the spotlight of attention brings select information to center stage. This global workspace is what you experience as consciousness. Integrated Information Theory, IIT, proposed by Giulio Tononi, suggests consciousness is based on how much information a system can integrate and process. It even offers a mathematical formula, called phi, to estimate how conscious something might be. According to this, a complex AI could potentially be conscious if it meets the integration threshold. Both theories have strengths, but neither fully solves the hard problem. Dreams, altered states, and mystical experiences. Consciousness isn't a single, steady state. It shifts. Think of dreaming, or meditation, or being in a flow state, or even mystical experiences. People report feelings of oneness, timelessness, ego dissolution. Some claim to feel more conscious, not less. Psychedelics like psilocybin and DMT dramatically alter consciousness, and scientists are now studying these states to learn more about how the mind works. Maybe these altered states are keys to understanding the full range of consciousness. Cases that challenge our understanding. Split brain patients. People who've had their brain hemispheres separated often report two separate streams of consciousness. One side literally doesn't know what the other is doing. Coma recovery. Some patients believed to be in a vegetative state have later reported awareness the whole time. Locked-in syndrome. Patients who are fully paralyzed but mentally alert, proving that consciousness isn't always visible from the outside. These cases remind us that consciousness can exist in ways we don't yet recognize or fully measure. Is consciousness an illusion? Some scientists, like philosopher Daniel Dennett, argue that consciousness is just a useful illusion, an internal narrative your brain constructs to make sense of the world. In this view, there's no you in the driver's seat, just a complex system of processes giving the illusion of a single self. It's controversial, and kind of existentially disturbing. But it's one more lens on a topic we still don't fully grasp. Before we wrap up, why it matters. Consciousness isn't just an academic topic. It shapes how we treat others, and how we define life. If animals are conscious, how should we treat them? If AI becomes conscious, what rights should it have? If consciousness survives death, what does that mean for what we are? How we define consciousness could rewrite ethics, science, law, and spirituality. Final thoughts. So, what is consciousness really? Right now, it's the most intimate and mysterious thing we know. It's what makes life feel like life. What turns biology into experience? What turns time into memory, and matter into meaning? We may never fully explain it. Or maybe we're just at the beginning of understanding something bigger than we ever imagined. Maybe consciousness isn't a problem to solve, but a journey to witness. So keep asking. Keep wondering. And never stop being amazed that you can even ask the question in the first place. If this exploration sparked your inner philosopher, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone curious. And here's our question for you. What do you think consciousness is? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and remember, Consciousness might be the universe trying to understand itself.